Hey everybody! I've kind of compiled a list of 5 healthy hair tips and 5 growing tips to kind of make one big list of mini tips that you can try. Now, there are more tips than just that. I didn't want to sit here and bore you for 30 minutes, so I thought I'd start with these. So, my first tip for healthy hair would be for you not to shampoo your hair every single day. When you shampoo your hair daily, you're taking away those natural oils that build up on your scalp, and you don't want those oils there for a long time, but those natural oils on your scalp are the best conditioner for your hair because it's built specifically for your hair by you. Generally, I would say every other day if you're used to doing it just every day. And there are things that you can do to train your hair, like dry shampoo. But you don't want to be washing it every day and getting those oils to go away because then they're going to just overproduce and then you're going to wash your hair even more, which is not healthy for the hair. When you do wash your hair, be sure when you're using that towel, don't really just scrub. That really messes up the hair because the hair is most fragile when wet. So you want to squeeze out the water. You don't want to just go crazy with it. You know how we all put our head over, tie the towel, and then put it on top of our head and go do what we need to do? That's not good for it either. If you're going to actually keep the towel on your head for a little bit, wrap it down, bring it over to the side. If you need a reference, I made a shampooing video, and that I kind of tell you how to do all of that stuff. Use a wide tooth comb. The wide teeth of the comb, when you're combing your hair wet, they don't tug on your hair too much because, like I said, your hair is most fragile when it's wet. So you want to make sure that you're treating it really gently and being really good to it. So you want to use a wide tooth comb, and you want to start at the bottom and work your way up, rather than starting way up here and there being a whole mess of knots down here. And then I would also say, to get healthy hair, avoid heat as much as you possibly can. Heat is our biggest enemy when it comes to our hair. So if you want a curly look, you can straighten your hair, curl your hair, however you need to do your hair, and make that last for a few days. That's another reason why not washing your hair every day is wonderful, because you style it, say, on Monday, and then you have Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. See, here's how I normally go. My hair on day 1 from washing it is normally down and nice and pretty. Day 2, I can kind of keep it down, probably half up. Day 3, it's definitely half up. Day 4, 5, if I get to 6, it is most definitely some kind of updo. So kind of go about that. And finally, for healthy hair, make sure that you don't make really tight ponytails or use those little rubber bands. Both of those affect your hair and make breakage. Tight ponytails, I mean, when you pull your hair really tight like that, it's pulling in this area. And if you have a lot of baby hairs, that could be why, because there's been so much breakage. So you want to make sure your ponytail is loose. You don't want to see skin like that. Those popular new hair ties that are really stretchy and elastic type, those are really good for ponytails because they don't really make them really tight, but they still make the ponytail really cute. So growing. What do we want to do to get new growth? One of the best things you can do is stimulate your follicles. Get your favorite oil. Coconut oil happens to be mine. Just go in there and really vigorously massage your scalp, because those follicles, what's happening is blood that goes through the follicles. That is what creates keratin. Keratin is the hair. So the more that creates the keratin, the more hair growth you're going to have. So when that's stimulated, that blood is going to that follicle. So therefore, you're going to get some growth. When you don't get trims regularly, when you go for like a year or 2 without a trim, and you're trying to specifically get your hair to a certain length, you're going to have to get a lot cut off because it's going to be so much damage. Especially if you use heat, even if it's every now and then, you're still going to get heat damage. I normally tell people that are trying to grow their hair out every 3 months. That's what I do, because by then you most definitely have splits. And if those splits keep splitting, they're only going to keep going higher and higher. So therefore, you're not really going to get much out of that length because you're going to have to take it right back off. This has happened to me so many times, and I'm like, oh, my hair is finally long. then we have to take another 2-3 inches off because my hair is so damaged. And when you break that down, that's only 4 times a year, so that's really not that much. So you can also try vitamins. Biotin is a specific vitamin for hair and nail growth. I've also heard that folic acid and B vitamins are really good for the hair. I personally take folic acid and I don't see huge changes, but I mean my hair is growing, so that's a good thing. A biggie that I have found in my own self, use a clarifying shampoo once a week or so, because that is going to get all the gunk that's built up on your scalp off, and that's going to create cell turnover, get all that stuff off, which is going to open up those follicles, which is going to stimulate the follicles to produce more keratin, which produces more hair, which makes us happy. So make sure you get a really good clarifying shampoo. And just because it's clarifying shampoo does not mean it's allowed to have sulfates in it. You want to read your ingredient list and you don't want it to say sodium lauryl sulfate, sodium laureth sulfate, or anything blah 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 sulfate. If you don't know my sulfate rant, click on this video because I uploaded that back around Christmas and I explain what sulfates are, why they're bad. I even show you what the actual ingredient is. That's another thing that's really important for your hair, the health, the growth, everything. You don't want to use anything with sulfates. And finally, I saved this for last because this is the most fun one. And I never actually made a video because my documentation of my Monistat 7 experiment did not go as well as I thought. But, okay, the final tip would be try the Monistat 7 experiment. I was introduced to it from one of you guys on a comment, and I YouTubed it, I Googled it, and all these people are rubbing Monistat on their head. And I'm like, what the heck? So I get into it, and one of my clients is actually a scientist, and she was trying to explain it to me in the scientific way about receptors holding on to different things because of this. The fact that the hair grew is what I am most concerned about, so that's what was awesome. I have measured my hair before, and on average, it grows about 1/4 inch a month. It does not grow a lot at all. The average hair growth for most individuals is 1/2 inch a month, which is a good amount of growth. 1/4 inch a month? No. Because that means I get 1 inch in like 4 months, and that's terrible because I get like 2.5 inches in a year. So Monistat 7, basically what I did was I would take some on my finger, part my hair, scoot it down the part, then part my hair again, and just do that all the way around my head. The active ingredient in it is miconazole nitrate cream. That is what everybody that has done this is saying that is what is working. I did this all of January. Every time I'd wash my hair, which was not every day, it was twice a week, but every time I'd wash my hair, I would put this stuff in. I'd let my hair air dry for about 30-45 minutes so it wasn't really wet, but it was still reasonably damp. I'd put this on, and then I'd just let it stay until the next time I shampooed my hair. Rather than 1/4 inch of new growth in January, I got just over 3/4 of an inch of new growth. How cool is that? It like tripled it. So it was pretty cool. You can Google it, YouTube it. There's a lot of other people that talk about it. I'm not the original person that did this, but I do appreciate people putting it out there. And it's really hilarious to tell people that you're rubbing vaginal cream on your scalp. Because they're like, what? But I promise, there is no smell. I mean, you're not putting it where it's supposed to go and then on your scalp. So clearly, there is no smell. Honestly, I would try that if you really, really want to stimulate your hair growth. So, that's my tips for right now for some things you can do to get healthy hair and grow your hair and all. And I know some of you guys are really good with hair tips and stuff, so if you have any of your own tips, leave them down in the comments. Let me know what they are, let everybody else know what they are. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to subscribe if you're not and like the video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!